So tonight we are going to be doing parallel, perpendicular, and skew lines. Again, this is going to be for advanced geometry first, third, or fifth hours. We have started already our transversals and our intersecting lines. So tonight we are going to, again, just really get into what perpendicular, parallel, and skew lines look like for three-dimensional figures. Okay. So for parallel lines, again, we've looked a lot at parallel lines. We've already done some constructions already with parallel lines, but in this context for this video, we're looking at parallel lines in relation to three-dimensional figures. So this diagram that I have here, we are going to be using really the rest of the time today. So if you can attempt to draw it, otherwise just do the best that you can, and at least get our definitions down and know that what I'm talking about when we're looking at parallel lines in this figure. Now already you can see again that we have our arrows, so one arrow and one arrow to indicate that segment EF and AB are parallel. And also we know segment EG is parallel to segment FH. So again, just to show you those arrows, I have had you put those in on your constructions already, but just to show you what that looks like more of in a textbook context, that's what it's like. So again, parallel lines are coplanar, so they do lay on the same plane, but they do not intersect. So I put on here in the figure, line AB and line EF are parallel. And we said that a little earlier, line AB, EF are parallel. Now notice this symbol here. It looks like a really skinny number 11. That is our symbol for parallel. So in the future, when you read this, that's line AB is parallel to line EF. Likewise, in the next one, line EG is parallel to line FH. So when we look at line EG, here's line EG, here's line FH. Those two lines are parallel, and obviously if we extended those through here, through there, they would not ever cross. Again, they are parallel lines. Okay. Let's go and look at perpendicular now. So very similar to, what I wanted to do for perpendicular was to put in a symbol. So here's our symbol for perpendicular. We had a little sneak peek at that last chapter in Unit 2. And we also know that perpendicular lines are going to intersect to create 90-degree angles. So specifically in this figure, line AB is perpendicular to line AE. And again, this is the same figure from earlier. So let's look at what that means. Line AB and line AE here, where they meet, you can see that right angle is formed. Also, line EG is perpendicular to line GH, so EG, GH, again, where they meet, where they touch, intersection point G, there's a right angle that is formed there. And again, these are our perpendicular lines. Okay, skew is slightly different, so it is pronounced skew. I know it looks like skew, like I wake up in the morning and go to school, but that's not right. We want to say skew. So skew lines are not coplanar, so they are not in the same plane. They are not parallel and do not intersect. So it's a little different than parallel. Parallel do lie in the same plane and don't intersect. These do not lie in the same plane and do not intersect. To give you an example of what this looks like, line AB and EG are skew. Okay. And there is no symbol for skew, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my line tool and show you AB is in the back. It's this one here. EG is in the front. So on paper, or two-dimensionally, it looks like these would intersect, but technically EG is in the front and goes vertically. AB is in the back and moves horizontally, just side to side. Those are skew lines. They would never cross. And they are also in separate planes. Even though E is technically in the same plane as both of these, they are still considered skew. And the last would be now parallel planes, so very similar to parallel lines. These are just planes that will not intersect. So it's easiest to look at the top plane and bottom plane, and we can look at that in this example. So plane A, B, E, and just to refresh your memory, we've named planes with 3 letters. So ABE is a perfectly good name for this plane. You could call it ABF, FAE, EAB. That doesn't really matter as long as we pick 3 points within that plane. Again, we use our symbol parallel to plane CDG. So here's C, there's D, it's in this plane here at the bottom, G. Those 2 planes are parallel. In other words, the top is parallel to the bottom, which definitely I think makes sense. Okay. And there are other examples and other parallel planes in this diagram. Again, just to make it easier, we just did top to bottom. Okay, so let's try an example, and you're probably not going to want to draw this example, but you can at least kind of follow along, and if you want to pause the video and try to answer A, B, C, and D in your notes to see how you're doing, that's fine. However, I'm just going to give you maybe 1 or 2 possible answers, as there are several that you could potentially choose. So let's start with a pair of parallel segments. And in this diagram over here, these are actually some cards that are stacked together to make a rectangular prism. We have some parallel segments, looks like kind of all over the place, top and bottom. We also have some perpendicular lines that are created, or perpendicular segments that are intersecting. So let's go ahead and look at a pair of parallel segments. And I'm just going to pick one just because I kind of see it right away with 1 mark on it, and that is segment KN is parallel to segment PS. And that's another reason why I'm not going to write all my answers out. This is going to be too big, and I'm going to end up writing all over the place. But it looks good. So KN parallel to PS. They both have 1 arrow indicating parallel lines, and they are definitely parallel. Okay, next one, part B, is a pair of skew segments. Again, we don't have a symbol for skew. I think it's easiest, I'm just going to pick LM here. And I'm going to say LM, and let's just pick RS. We can see RS goes at the bottom here. Those are an example of skew segments. Okay. Let's go and do a pair of perpendicular segments. So I'm going to erase my lines I drew in earlier. Again, in perpendicular, we're looking for lines that will create right angles when they intersect. So I see one already, it's MR, and again, I'll use my symbol. It's an upside down T, and that is perpendicular with RS when they intersect. And again, that's just one of multiple answers, just one that I see right away. Okay. Parallel planes, let's pick KPS, which is the left plane. So plane KPS is parallel, and I'm going to say that's parallel to, let's just call this one LQR on the right. Okay. So again, that is just a real basic introduction to parallel, perpendicular, and skew. So what I want you to do now is to go ahead and log into Schoology, complete WISC number 8 assignment, and be sure to submit it to me. If you post it in the discussion or if you message it to me, it's a lot easier to get lost. If you just submit it to me within Schoology, I get a notification right away, and I can grade it for you right away and put it in the grade book much quicker. So if you don't know how to do that, on my YouTube channel I made a video that's how to post an assignment or submit an assignment within Schoology. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.